residence, right? So this woman just kept screaming, "This is my house! Fucking white cops!" You know, crazy stuff. And she threatened to shoot him through the door. Well, then they came down and told us that we were going to die and left. Now, like, yeah, looking at this, that like I don't like Castro and Lott. I think they should have to pay for this, but at the same time, they're humans. Who the hell's going to stand at the door in Highland Park and wait to get shot? They might not have been in a position to report what they saw. This is the thing. This is why it's systemic. Is I needed to have been able to have reported this 2 years ago, and not being able to report it has impacted my health more than the actual event itself. So the 40 officers or whoever they were showed up. I didn't see any paramedics. It doesn't mean they weren't there, but I was seeing this through my people. I heard more than I saw.
Here's a question. Okay.
They put the guy on an orange gurney.
It's been noted before that you have told us about this incident, but what would you have liked to have seen done regarding this?
I just liked my report to have been taken in a timely manner.
Okay.
Because I would have liked to have been put in contact maybe with FBI or somebody to have had a professional ask me questions and figure out if I had a viable case on what I had seen. No one's done that. And that is the problem here. Something should have been done. I understand that there are people who have not been in clearance to do it. There have been people who have been scared. And that's fine. I know that these things are not common occurrences and that most of these cases aren't real. But this is reaching a point of extremes.
Okay, so if your incident was reported and you got to just speak with someone about it, what would you have liked to see done from there? All you wanted to do was report it?
The thing is, I wanted it reported. I mean, at this point, particularly because the report wasn't taken, which in my opinion validates my point that it was systemic, yeah, I want to go to a news outlet. But before that, all I originally wanted to do was just to, as a citizen, report that I had seen a crime. Because I knew they knew I had seen it.
Okay, now listen to this. You've told me multiple times, the police were out there. What would make you think that this incident wasn't documented already if our officers were on scene?
I don't actually know if it was documented, which is why I don't know if like parts of it weren't documented, if the whole thing wasn't. My mom tells me it was in the paper, but that week my mom started dating a police officer, a former one from Louisville.
Okay.
And then he told me it didn't happen at the dinner table, and then my mom's been kind of like, not threatening me, but like if I bring it up, she'll blow up, even if I'm trying to tell her why I'm busy. Mm-hmm. And it's a problem. It's part of why I have to move.
Well, here's another thing. Every time an officer goes out on any scene, anywhere, it is documented. Mm-hmm. We have GPS in our cruiser. Our radios have GPS on them. They know where we are at all times.
Well, and that's why I'm saying that I believe it's systemic at this point. There's no way this could have happened without someone knowing. Mm-hmm. So someone somewhere is either trying to keep this from being noticed or something, in my opinion. That's why I'm talking to agencies outside of this department at this point about what I saw to try to cooperate on giving a testimony, because I just wanted to testify in court that I was there at the shooting, and they wouldn't even let me come forward. And that's witness tampering.
Okay. So, did the shooting occur before the officers got there?
Yes.
Were they investigating?
They showed up within 10 minutes, though.
Okay.
And that was weird, because I've seen things happen before. One time I saw a guy pull a gun on a kid. It was like 19, right? Mm-hmm. Officers took an hour and a half to get there, and when they showed up, they were hidden all over. They pulled out, like, it was a sting, and it was a good one. They got him quick. No shots were even fired. He was on crazy amounts of bath salts. There was a former 911 operator there who was filling me in on what his charges would be, because she knew a little bit about courts. Just looking at it, she's like, yeah, that's going to be like 30 years because he's resisting arrest, too. Mm-hmm. I've seen officers do their jobs. And what I saw down there was just, they all marched up, kind of martially, right? Stomping. And again, I counted groups of 5. And they came up in about groups of 5. It was about 8 groups of 5. Some were going back up, back down.
And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you saw officers going in and out, in and out, in and out, the same officers. But again,
yeah, but most of them went one direction, and then some of them started going the other, right?
Sure.
So like a lot of them went up there because they heard a shotgun had been fired, and somebody I'm sure called. And again, there were a couple of the first wave. Some of them had like hair or mustaches or something, maybe, right? But after that, all of them had shaved heads. All of them had shaved faces. Part of why I wondered, were they really cops? Am I reporting fake cops to cops? I don't know, and that's what you guys have to sort out on your end. Because you guys would know that, and I have no access to that information.
I want to make you more comfortable about the situation that you saw. Because the situation is 2 years old. There were police on scene, which leads me to believe that this is absolutely documented. An investigation is probably already
I was told by
FBI.
I was told by the IA that Internal Affairs is investigating all of this, and that was admitted to me because I wanted to know about Myers following me. Now Myers, the one day, pulled up in his car, got out, looked at me, and then got back in, and he pulled in front of me. That's a little different than the one time he passed me in the cemetery and he rolled down his window to say hi because we had spoken the day before and somebody almost front-ended him. That was actually friendly because otherwise I would have worried it was Myers. He disarmed me. Before that he didn't. That's part of why I'm saying it's on better terms than it was, is that Myers realized what he was doing was possibly threatening, and I've actually seen his behavior change. He was here when the 3 officers came and he waved, and he didn't say anything, he hung back. Considering he's in the area and considering he knows me or has met me before, at this point that's appropriate because Myers isn't acting the way he was.
Sure.
And again, I do believe that Myers was simply scared. What I saw wasn't right. Now, by the time that they wheeled this guy out, it was on an orange gurney, and they were using racial language, they were shining lights in his eyes, and that could have been medical, but that would have been for paramedics. Mm-hmm. Now, the fact only my mother has told me she read a news article about it, I don't buy that. You know what I mean? If I see it, I see it, but I have not seen them. I don't know if they're alive, they're dead, or what, and there's no mention of the woman from my mother, and the woman is who I was most worried about, because the police went up there and they just screamed, "Where are the drugs?" And I heard them break everything in that apartment for 5 hours while they barred our door. So if they weren't officers, then I have to report that people barred our door who weren't officers. Okay. Either way, I have to report something.
But listen, you have to understand that police were investigating something in your building. Something, okay? Mm-hmm. It will be on record. Another thing, barred your door? Are you referring to they told you not to come out because
they stood in front of it 2 people thick?
Okay. Now, do you understand why that would have to happen? If they were going in there to execute a search warrant, to execute a raid.
Okay, but they beat
it's
somebody.
For your safety.
They beat somebody and they knew we were already witnesses to their misconduct.
Okay, now listen to this. I don't know if they beat someone. I don't know what you're saying. But if it is to execute a search warrant or a warrant subject, you have to understand that could be a felony 1 murder suspect, okay?
Yeah,
that could be a felony kidnapping. Or,
but they can't beat a woman in cold blood.
Now, they're not going... I promise you the police department is not going to beat somebody dead.
I think I have a recording from that, actually, buried in her phone.
Find it, and I want you to really listen to it.
Because I do have recordings of them fighting.
Okay.
All right.
What you have to understand is that we are not a dangerous police department.
Okay, but do you...
And we have had instances where we have to use force on individuals. You know, if somebody pulls a gun on me right now...
That would at this point include my unarmed girlfiend a week ago.
Okay,
you understand that?
We'll talk about that in a second. But you have to understand, if somebody points a gun at me, I will fight for my life.
Yeah, I got you.
And before I shoot you, I'm going to fight you.
And I got you, and that's what you should do. I know enough about officers to know that.
Okay, but just know that nobody is going to beat an unarmed woman. Okay, now tell me about what happened with Shane.
All right, so Casta was called out, and she recognized him as fast as I did. Yeah, and again, we called for CIT. Shane was really blowing up, but Shane was blowing up because no one would do anything about her mother. It's still an ongoing problem, just like all of our other problems. Nothing will be served to us. Nothing will be done. I can't even go to a dentist for my teeth or my hip that was hurting OHP. No one would. They wouldn't even. I tried to go down to Altman to get my papers, right, from the hospital. And they chased me out. Security did. They had to mail my papers to me 6 months later.
Did any incidents occur at Altman with you?
Yeah.
What happened?
I was taken down there by, this is what happened the day I was picked up by Lott and Castro, right? I was down at Job and Family Services. Hey, Nick.
How are you, sir?
You like Nick?
Dealing. Not as a counselor, but as a friend through Crisis Center, yes.
Okay.
How are you?
Hello, how are you?
All right.
I contacted the human trafficking hotline, and they told me I should be very worried based on what I reported and that I should flee the area immediately.
Do you remember
They
who
are
you talked to?
huh?
Do you remember who you talked to?
No, but I have a case number if you want it. Do you want it?
Yes.
Yeah. You mind if I stop this recording?
Yeah,
and go
sure.
get the